What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another uniform review video. Alright, so we're moving on to Luna Snow's new uniform here, and we have the Andromeda suit. So yeah, I like the look of this new uniform here. It looks pretty nice. Definitely like the color scheme. It looks really good, actually. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at what the uniform is doing for us. So it's got 5 skill changes, which is nice. Well, technically, what's that? 4 skill changes and the passive, right? Yeah, 4 skill changes in the passive. And the uniform bonus is going to be increased cold damage by 10%. That's kind of low, but hey, it's a boost to her damage, 10%. I guess I'll take it, but I would prefer that have been a little bit higher. And then enhance the effects of skill Encore, which is her passive right here. So as you can see, it is now a 60% chance to kind of do that refresh when using the skill Dancing Sensation. So how kind of her skills 1, 2, and 3, but Dancing Sensation is her third, right? Yeah, so third skill refreshes the second skill, which refreshes the first skill, or the third skill refreshes the first skill, whatever it is. I can't really remember, what is it, Ardent Performance. So yeah, that would be her first skill that it refreshes. But anyway, it's now a 60% chance instead of a 30% chance, so it has doubled, which can be useful because 2 of her skills, the third skill and the first skill, have iframes on them. The second skill has an iframe that's kind of just at the beginning of it, so it doesn't carry over throughout the entire skill. So definitely having those skills refresh can help with her survivability if you get into a tough situation where you just used the iframe but you need it again right away, and this happens to kick in and refresh the skill. Then yes, you can get out of harm's way and use this skill again. So for the this is new here, I think, the freeze on the second skill. Or did she? No, she always had the freeze, I believe, but we have freeze on there, 30% chilled. We still have the 15% for her max HP recovery and the 15% for max HP recovery and the 5 seconds of immunity. So it doesn't look like anything has really changed in terms of the text here. The only thing I'm kind of trying to remember is if that freeze was always there. But anyway, let's go ahead and hop into the skill preview here and take a look at what these skills look like. Alright, so the first skill that hasn't changed at all, yep, it's still the full iframe, and then it still has those icicles that she just shoots at them, which is nice. So now the second skill, let's see what that looks like. So we have an iframe right there, and then the iframe stops, but we have some lingering damage right here, which is pretty nice. So boom, iframe, but then after she goes past the enemy and comes back to where she was standing previously, her iframe is gone. So iframe, boom, no iframe. So you do have to be kind of careful about that, but we do have a lot of lingering damage. It's only like, yeah, you get a few hits before the damage over time, because I think like if you boom and then you cancel it, you don't get the effects of the second skill. So you can't cancel the second skill right away if you want these kind of effects. You have to let her kind of dash forward or dash back, and then you can cancel it. So go boom, boom, and then cancel into the first skill there. So I mean, not too bad. So you can't cancel it as early as you used to be able to. And now the third skill, we still have the iframe right there, but now all of the damage is kind of up front. So instead her previous third skill used to have the damage kind of at the end here, so she would do the kick and then you'd have to wait, and the ice kind of like stayed in the ground, and then it shot up like a little bit later after the skill was already done. So you probably have like a 2-second, maybe, yeah, probably about 2 seconds after the skill. So she boom, kick the ground, you'd wait about 2 seconds, and then the ice would come up and do all of the kind of effects that you get immediately right now. So I do like that change. So now you get all of your damage up front right away. You don't have to wait for any of it. So it's a lot better for using that skill with a damage proc. So yeah, I like the change to the third skill. And now the fourth skill. So we do have an iframe at the start of the fourth skill, but then the iframe goes away when she starts kind of sliding around the enemy. She does have movement, so I mean that's good at protecting her somewhat, but I prefer the skill to be a full iframe for it to really be useful. And then you don't get any of the effects until the very end of the fourth skill, which again, I don't really like when they do that, when they have like your mind control, or in this case the, what's that, enchant, or what is there? Entice, the entice. So she doesn't get her entice until the very end of it, and the heal. So I prefer if that happened at the start of the skill, but yeah, you have to wait till the very end of it, which if you can fit it into your rotation, which I'm thinking her skill rotation, well, let's look at the 5th skill first here. So the 5th skill, pretty similar to her 5th skill before, except it's got a wider AoE to it, and it looks like more hits as well, and then it freezes the enemies, which is really nice. But anyway, what I was saying was, I think her skill rotation is probably going to be something like this. Do the 2nd skill, boom, boom, cancel, get as many of those as you can, then move into the 3rd skill for your damage proc. So I'm thinking that's probably going to be the best rotation for this uniform, at least that I can think of off the top of my head. Because boom, like this, so if you don't get the damage proc to go right there, that's good, and then you can always cancel the 1st skill at any part of it. So if you think your damage proc is going to go off, then cancel it earlier. But of course, if you let the 1st skill play out more, you get more of kind of the damage from the icicles there, because the earlier you cancel it, the less of those you will get. But anyway, so the full rotation I think is going to be boom, get that, you have your damage proc right here, have your damage proc cancel into the 4th skill right after your 5th skill, so you have the immunity, let the 4th skill play all the way out, get the entice right there, and then you go back into the rotation, which I'm not sure if that's going to be too long, if the damage proc is going to go off at the end of the 4th skill here, if it'll kind of mess up the timing to do something like this. That's just kind of what I've been experimenting with, and I think that's going to be the best way to use the skill rotation right now. And the reason I'm going through all of this in a little more detail here on my uniform review than I normally do is because I've been hearing mixed kind of things about her uniform here. People are saying that yes, it's good. Other people are saying that the damage isn't so good. So like the damage is either worse or about the same as without the uniform, and that's just because of the skill rotation. You're not getting as many cancelable skills or as many kind of effects on the screen at the same time, which I can see that, because to get all of the effects on the screen right here, you have to be pretty lucky with timing your damage proc, because see, there's a lot of hits going on in between there when you want your damage proc to not go off, because I don't want it to go off right here, or right here, but now I do want it to go off. So you have to have kind of pretty good luck there, or you need to do a kind of like sacrifice your 1st damage proc, like use your 5th skill at like the start of the fight, boom, let that play out, you get your damage proc on there. You wait around a little bit until it's like halfway or close to time for your damage proc to come off of cooldown, and then you boom, do this so that you can make your damage proc then line up. But anyway, let's do a little bit of a comparison. So I'm actually going to try to compare her damage a little bit. So let's go ahead and jump into a World Boss Ultimate fight real quick. Alright, so here we are at Call Obsidian. I'm going to be using this team here. We have Misty for the leadership, 60% cold damage, and then we do have her without her uniform right now for the first one, and we have Shuri for the extra survivability and of course damage, and we're going to be going in without any strikers because we want to see only her damage. We don't want any strikers getting in the way here. And I will start by saying I am very, very bad at playing Luna Snow. I can't seem to ever time her damage proc correctly. I'm really bad at doing her skill rotation, so do keep that in mind when I'm trying to do this comparison here, that I am not very good at playing Luna Snow in terms of her rotation. I do like playing the character because I think she has cool animations, but anyway, let's go ahead and hop in here. And we're playing against Cole because I was trying this with Ebony, and he teleports way too much. I'm not getting very consistent numbers against him. So first off, we have a little bit of a damage proc there. That was about, what, 30% of his HP. But now let's get it with the 5th skill here. Go in. And that was about 40% of a life bar or so. About 40%. Yeah, let's go with like 40%. Alright, well I mistimed the damage proc there. Let's get one more go here. Okay, and damage proc. And that was a little lackluster as well. So it looks like it's between 30 and 40% is what I'm getting here for her on the damage proc. Yeah, about 30 to 40% using the 5th, cancel into 2, and then cancel into 1, but that one went off right away. So it looks like maybe if it started ideally, we might get about half of a life bar if we have the damage proc lined up perfectly with this one, or with my current build and my inability to play Luna here. So now we're going to back out and put on our uniform and kind of see how that changes up. So let's go ahead and grab Luna here. Gonna go ahead and equip her uniform. and then we're going to hop back in with the same team here and no strikers, and we'll see kind of the situation here with the damage proc and how much we're actually getting. Alright, so again, I'm going to try the 2-1-3 kind of skill rotation, and I'll see if I can hopefully get the damage proc to not go off instantly, and it did go off instantly, and it looks like that was only about 20% right there, getting it on just the first skill. Alright, so now go there, and okay, as you can see, the damage does look better to me when I do that. And then I would want to go into this for my rotation, but I waited, yeah, a little bit too long there, so we got the damage proc at the end of the fourth skill. But anyway, so we want to go like this, get that going. Hopefully damage proc right there. And that one was pretty similar to before, and then this is where I want to go next. Then we hop in, go here, and boom. Overall, I think the damage is a little bit better with the uniform, which is what you would expect, but it's not super noticeable like you would normally see with the uniform. Normally you see a pretty big difference in the damage, but right here I'm not seeing it initially. I mean, she does maybe feel a little bit smoother to play because I can get, I don't know, a lot more movement, a lot more stuff going on the screen, so it looks a little prettier maybe. But yeah, I think the damage does look better, of course, with the uniform. But like I said, that's what you would expect. But if I have to concentrate this much to see a significant or noticeable difference in her damage, then yeah, I'm definitely not super impressed with that. So I'm not super impressed overall with the kind of damage with this new uniform. But I do like the animations on it. I do think she feels a little kind of smoother to play in general. If I do that skill rotation, oops, hit the microphone there, hopefully you didn't hear that. She does feel a bit smoother to play. Like if I do that rotation 2-1-3 and then 5-4 kind of thing, it feels smoother. It feels like the skills go together a little easier. I feel like she can stay protected the entire time because you have boom right here, then you have this long iframe, and then you have this iframe, and then you get your invincibility, and then you go into this to get the entice, and then you go back into the skill rotation, which I'm a little bit off right now, but I'm wondering if I can get that to line up any better. Alright, so there we go, that lined up. But the cooldown on her fifth skill looks like you're going to get to a point where you need to kind of kite around a little bit to let the kind of refresh time catch up. So there is going to be a little bit of downtime. So that can get in the way there because it does look like the fifth skill cooldown time is a little bit longer. But as I was saying, it just feels a little smoother to play with this uniform. So overall, my impressions of the uniform are, I like the uniform. I like the skill changes. It doesn't seem to give her a huge damage boost, at least from what I can see. Let me know in the comments if you've had better results than me, because like I said, I'm not very good at timing her damage proc. And let me know if there's a different skill rotation that you guys have found for the uniform here that works better with the damage proc, or you can, get it more consistently or something like that. But if I'm going off just what I've been able to do myself here, I think the uniform is worth it if you play Luna Snow, if you want to use her against Ebony, if you want to use her maybe in later stages of Shadowland. I do think the uniform is worth it. It'll help her probably clear it more consistently, because it does seem like when you do get the damage proc going off on one of her skills individually, it does more damage than without the uniform, because without the uniform it seemed like you really needed all of these skills to kind of stack up their effects with the damage proc to get a big boost of damage. But if I have just only one skill doing damage with their uniform here, it seems to do better than without. So yeah, I'm mixed about this uniform. I mean, I'm happy I purchased it because I like the looks of it and all that, so I'm kind of just rambling on here, so I need to stop. But yeah, overall, let me know your thoughts about the uniform. That's kind of mine in a nutshell. Pick pieces out, and then you can probably see how I feel overall about it. But yeah, like I said, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and of course I will catch you in the next one.